Exclusive details about sensational documents that have been revealed for the very first time. Details of papers that everybody is looking for in the Judge Loya case. Details that clearly the lobby has been raising doubts about, whereas these papers could also have been probably with the lobby. Details, viewers, that clearly show and indicate, papers that clearly show and indicate in the Judge Loya case, written statements by judicial officers and judges clearly indicate they were with Judge Loya on that night of December 1st, 2014, the entire time. The case of the lobby is over. The kind of arguments they've been saying is over. Let's tell our viewers we have accessed the papers that everybody is looking for. The district judge's statements in 2017 to DG Intelligence, those papers that clearly indicate there was absolutely no wrongdoing in the case. Let's tell our viewers first up what these papers reveal. And we go on to the case of Mr. Kulkarni here. First up, let's go across to Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami, who's joining us on this big story.
You know, you can carry on by looking at the papers out there. I just want to make a comment while you look at the papers to put it in a broader perspective. Now, at all points of time, as you are aware, despite the known facts in the case and despite the fact that the entire matter is sub judice and nothing should be done to prejudice the trial, the lobby has been working overtime to try and vitiate the atmosphere and shoot off the shoulders of a half-baked, half-researched, incomplete story, which is really not true, which has appeared in the Caravan magazine. The fact is, however, that what now emerges is that what happened on the early morning that Judge Loya passed away has been very well documented, not just by his family members or other individuals who were around him, but by 4 judges, district judges, who were present with him through the entire time. And Mahesh Jethmalani is joining me live. Mahesh, before I come to you, just to summarize, the testimonies of 4 judges of the Bombay High Court, 4 high judicial officials of the Bombay High Court, has now come out in this whole case. And what appears from their judges' testimony is the following: a detailed narration of events of what happens from about 4 o'clock in the morning, when all of them had gone to attend a wedding in Nagpur of a fellow judge's family member, till about 6:30 in the morning when he expires. That entire 2.5-hour sequence, the travel to the hospital, going to one hospital, then going to a specialist hospital, what happened, how he was feeling, attempts to make to resuscitate him, everything is narrated out in detail. Now, beyond this, it is also known, Mahesh Jethmalani, that there are 2 judges of the Bombay High Court who, upon knowing that he had passed away, actually came to the hospital. So the final circumstances are known and available and written out by 6 judges in all, 4 judges of the district court and 2 judges of the High Court, all of whom are essentially saying, that he died of natural causes. This is not just the medical paper, this is not just the police investigation. These are the detailed testimonies of 6 judges. Now, beyond this, Mahesh Jethmalani, can any other questions be raised?
Arnab, listen, first of all, the matter is sub judice before the Supreme Court. So on merits, I don't want to say anything, though I fully endorse what you're saying. I know those judges, the 6, they've been out in the public domain. And I can tell you something, they're all venerable gentlemen. And nobody should have cast any aspersions or doubt anything they've said. But, you know, at the end of the day, the matter is pending. The petitioners have a right, their lawyers have a right, but there is this lobby, you know, which creates suspicion and innuendo about many issues, and they get a lot of indulgence because they bully courts and their fellow lawyers. This is happening far too often right now. But you know, the way to deal with it is after this case. Let us see what the verdict is on the 2nd or whenever it is finally passed, and then to make sure that not only is there some amendment in the roster, which the Supreme Court is already looking at, but also that powerful members of the bar don't misuse their status or their seniority.
But does it also now, I know, cast a shadow over the circumstances of whatever happened with the 4 judges? Because you know, one of the honorable judges at that point of time, when asked whether the whole confrontation was about the Loya case, went on to say yes. And that was one of the reasons why politicians jumped into it. Rahul Gandhi issued statements, so did other political parties. Beyond political parties, you mentioned members of the bar. is it possible that the biggest lesson out of all this is that members of the bar, along with judges, should not pass comments in important cases like this while they are still in the process of being heard? Now, in this particular instance, let me tell you, the detail is written. One of the judges said, I called my other brother judge from Nagpur by calling on his cell phone and rushed immediately to the Ravi Bhavan government guest house with his car due to the bad health of Judge Loya. And Shri Barde, along with other colleague, rushed to the Ravi Bhavan government guest house, and we took him to the nearby Dandia hospital by using the car of Shri Barde, where the emergency treatment was given to Shri Loya. A point here is, Mahesh, all the 4 testimonies match. Each of the 4 testimonies is matching the other. Now, nobody can surely accuse that the 4 judges did a nudge, wink, wink while writing the testimonies to make sure that they match, because this was a discreet inquiry being done by the Intelligence Bureau.
I fully agree with you again, Arnab. According to me, there is a very strong side, there is very strong evidence to suggest, already in the public domain,
yes,
that the death of Justice Loya was completely natural and there was nothing suspicious or untoward about it. But there is, as I said, there is a venal coterie that by innuendo, by a few press leaks, by raising all kinds of irrelevant questions, have managed to create some doubts over the whole issue, have brought it to court, and the court is bound to entertain it and listen to it. Right? They wanted to originally drag it out.
But what a big lie this is! What a big lie this is! If these are the facts, what a big lie this is, Mahesh.
But Arnab, that's for the Supreme Court to decide. I think we should leave it to the Supreme Court and not prejudge.
No, but I also want a comment from you on this. That surely you will agree with me that nobody can cast an aspersion on someone like Honorable Justice B.R. Gawai, Honorable Justice S.B. Shukre, and Honorable Justice P.R. Bora. Now, all of these honorable judges rushed to the Meditrina hospital within half an hour of knowing of the circumstances of Sri Loya's death. And they were there. And not just them, it now appears, Mahesh, that the Chief Justice was also present. After which his dead body was taken to the Government Medical College and Hospital for post-mortem examination. So in totality, and I'm summarizing the story for you literally live right now, there were 8 judges, 4 judges of the District Court and 4 judges of the High Court, 4 who were present who took him to the hospital and 4 who were present after he was deceased. So where's the conspiracy? Where is this whole brouhaha? What has been going on? If this is the fact of the case, then the lobby must apologize now.
Well, what you call the lobby considers the testimony of 8 judges to not be worth the paper on which it is written.
Exactly.
That's how venal their case is. That's how low their case is. And I fully agree with you. But since the matter is being entered in the Supreme Court, we have to wait till that verdict comes out. But let me tell you something else, Arnab, in addition to what you've said. Let me also say that what is the reason for this 3-year delay? If there was so much doubt and so much concern about the death of that lawyer, why isn't the same court team raise their voices and ask for an exhumation and a post-mortem? Can they ever discover the real reason now? Can they get a post-mortem today? They could have that in 2015. They could have asked for an exhumation because of suspicious circumstances and said, let's do it. But they didn't do it at that time. Why? It was deliberate. 2018 because it's political.
Well, exactly. It didn't come out. Well, Mahesh Jethmalani, I thank you all. Thank you very much. And you know what I find interesting out here? If I were to summarize this, Prema and Rhythm and all our reporters who are joining us live, on the one side is all this hard evidence. And on the other side is the Sherlock Holmes skills of a person called Prashant Bhushan, who tries to break down the body language of Justice Loya's son when he says there was nothing suspicious about his father's death. Now, what do you need at a time like this? Hard evidence or the deductive reasoning of someone who thinks he's Sherlock Holmes? Kavita Krishnan tries to piggyback on Justice Loya's death for relevance. She does fundraising operations. She tweets about how the Citizens Forum demands an independent probe into Justice Loya's death. Now, what if someone were to say that we demand an independent investigation into what Kavita Krishnan has been up to, that without these facts and this hard evidence, which she could have accessed, now she also needs to therefore explain. And all the people out there who tried to fast forward to a falsehood should now be questioned. This lobby organized events to discuss conspiracy theories over Justice Loya's death. It put out appeals for fund gathering to cover our speakers' travel expenses and other costs of the event. So they became an event management company. As Mahesh Jethmalani rightly says, Rhythm, there are 8 judges in the picture here. If anybody is to ask questions, it must be those 8 judges. And if those 8 judges are not asking questions, then this lobby has really crossed the line right now, especially with these papers coming out. And we are told more papers could come. Rhythm and Prema, over to you. I'm looking at the papers, I'm analyzing them, and we are going to get lots of reactions on this big story as we break the conspiracy behind the circumstances that led to this whole huge build-up by the lobby. And then, of course, they're being provoked, the judges being provoked, and the follow-up thereafter. Putting a completely different picture to the story as it's breaking live here on Republic. I'm analyzing the papers. Over to you, Rhythm and Prema, and I'll be back with more.
Absolutely, Arnab. That's exactly the point. The lobby does need to apologize for the kind of details, for the kind of accusations they make in the top court, Prema. Also, like Arnab is mentioning, we need to understand why the lobby is motivated. What are the motivations between a dangerous alliance that the lobby has with the Congress and the left, and how they're all motivated, how press conference after press conference is happening. It's the top story. Team Republic analyzes those papers that are only exclusively with Republic. We slip into a quick break, but Prema and I will be back after a short break. Stay on with us.